The moment 7-year-old Lily Brennan saw the old man's son step out of that shiny black car, her heart started beating fast. She clutched the worn paper bag she'd been carrying every single day for 3 months, the one with Mr. Theodore's sandwich inside. The tall man in the expensive suit walked straight toward the park bench where his father sat, and Lily could tell from the angry look on his face that something bad was about to happen. Mr. Theodore grabbed her hand and whispered 5 words that would change everything. "Don't tell him about us." Before Lily could ask why, the sun was standing right there, towering over both of them, his voice cold as winter ice. What he said next made Lily's whole world spin. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back to where it all began. Lily Brennan was not like most 7-year-old girls in her neighborhood. While other kids her age were playing video games or watching cartoons after school, Lily spent her afternoons in Riverside Park, a small green space 3 blocks from her apartment building. The park wasn't fancy. The swings squeaked, the slide had rust spots, and the grass grew in uneven patches. But Lily loved it there because it was quiet, and quiet was something she didn't get much of at home. Lily lived with her grandmother, Nana Ruth, in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment on the 4th floor of a building that always smelled like someone's cooking. Her mama had left when Lily was just a baby, and her daddy was working 2 jobs just to send money for rent and food. Nana Ruth did her best, but she was getting older and her knees hurt. So Lily had learned to take care of herself in many ways. She made her own breakfast, packed her own school bag, and knew how to heat up leftovers in the microwave without burning herself. Every day after school, Lily would stop by their apartment, drop off her backpack, grab a snack, and head to the park. Nana Ruth didn't mind. She knew Lily was a good girl who didn't talk to strangers or wander too far. The park was safe, and Lily always came home before dark. It was on a Tuesday in early September when Lily first noticed the old man. He sat on the same bench every single day, the one under the big oak tree near the broken fountain. He was thin, with skin like wrinkled brown paper and hair as white as cotton. He wore old clothes that looked clean but faded, like they'd been washed 1,000 times. His shoes were scuffed, and his jacket had a patch on one elbow. But what Lily noticed most were his eyes. They were kind eyes, sad but kind, the color of warm honey. The old man never did much. He just sat there, watching the pigeons peck at breadcrumbs on the ground, staring at the sky, or sometimes closing his eyes like he was listening to music only he could hear. He didn't have a phone to look at like most grown-ups. He didn't read newspapers or books. He just sat quiet and still. Lily was curious about him, but Nana Ruth had taught her not to bother people who wanted to be alone. So for 2 whole weeks, Lily just played on the swings and the slide, always keeping one eye on the mysterious old man under the oak tree. Then one day, everything changed. Lily had brought her favorite doll to the park, the one with the yellow dress that Nana Ruth had sewn by hand. She was making the doll dance on the bench across from the old man when a sudden gust of wind snatched the doll right out of her hands. The doll went flying through the air and landed right at the old man's feet. Lily froze. She didn't know what to do. She needed her doll back, but she didn't want to bother the man. She stood there for a long moment, shifting from foot to foot, trying to decide. Then the old man looked down at the doll. He bent slowly, his movements careful like each one hurt a little, and picked it up. He brushed off some dirt from the yellow dress and looked around until his eyes found Lily. "I believe this belongs to you," he said. His voice was soft and scratchy, like dried leaves. Lily walked over slowly and took the doll. "Thank you, sir," she said quietly. The old man smiled, and his whole face changed. The sadness in his eyes got a little lighter. "You're very welcome, young lady. That's a beautiful doll. Did someone special make that dress?" Lily nodded. "My Nana Ruth. She makes all my doll clothes." "Your Nana Ruth must love you very much." "She does," Lily said. Then, because her Nana had also taught her to be polite, she added, "I'm Lily. Lily Brennan. It's nice to meet you, Lily Brennan. My name is Theodore Ashford, but you can call me Mr. Theodore." And that's how their friendship began. The next day, Lily brought 2 cookies to the park, the kind with chocolate chips that Nana Ruth baked on weekends. She walked right up to Mr. Theodore's bench and held one out to him. "Would you like a cookie?" she asked. My Nana made them. Mr. Theodore's eyes got shiny, like he might cry, but he was smiling. I would love one. Thank you, Lily. They sat together on the bench, eating cookies and watching the pigeons. Lily told Mr. Theodore about school, about how she was learning to read chapter books and how her teacher, Mrs. Kimberly, had a fish tank in the classroom. Mr. Theodore listened to every word like it was the most important thing he'd ever heard. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. I was told this channel wouldn't reach 1,000 subscribers, but stories like this deserve to be heard. Your support helps bring these cases to light and proves that these stories matter. From that day on, they met at the bench every afternoon. Lily would arrive around 3:30, and Mr. Theodore was always already there, waiting. They became friends in the way that people do when they both need someone to talk to. Lily told him about her life, her dreams of becoming a veterinarian one day, her worries about Nana Ruth's sore knees. Mr. Theodore mostly listened, but sometimes he would tell stories about birds he'd seen or about what the weather might be like tomorrow. After 2 weeks of sharing cookies and crackers, Lily noticed something that made her heart hurt. Mr. Theodore was getting thinner. His cheeks looked more hollow. His hands shook more when he reached for the snacks she brought. And one day, she saw him pick up crumbs that had fallen on the bench and eat them when he thought she wasn't looking. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about Mr. Theodore and those crumbs. The next morning, she woke up extra early and went to the kitchen. She made 2 sandwiches, one for her lunch at school and one extra. She used the last of the peanut butter and the last of the jelly, spreading them carefully on wheat bread just like Nana Ruth had taught her. She wrapped the extra sandwich in a paper bag and put it in her backpack. That afternoon, when she got to the park, she pulled out the sandwich and handed it to Mr. Theodore. I made you lunch, she said simply. Mr. Theodore stared at the sandwich for a long time. His hands were shaking even more than usual. Lily, I can't take your food. It's not mine. I made it special for you. Please eat it, Mr. Theodore. You look hungry. And he was hungry. Lily could see it in the way his eyes stayed on that sandwich, in the way he swallowed hard. Finally, he took it. Thank you, he whispered. You are a very special girl, Lily Brennan. He ate slowly, taking small bites, making it last. When he was done, he folded the paper bag neatly and put it in his pocket. From that day forward, Lily brought Mr. Theodore a sandwich every single day. She would wake up early, make his lunch before she made her own, and deliver it to him at the park. Some days it was peanut butter and jelly. Other days it was cheese or leftover chicken. Whatever they had in the apartment, Lily made sure Mr. Theodore got half. Nana Ruth noticed the food disappearing faster than usual, but when she asked Lily about it, Lily just said she was extra hungry from playing at the park. It wasn't exactly a lie, but it wasn't exactly the truth either, and that made Lily feel funny inside. She didn't like keeping secrets from Nana Ruth, but something told her that her grandmother might not understand. The weeks turned into months. September became October, and the leaves on the oak tree turned orange and red. Lily and Mr. Theodore's friendship grew stronger. He taught her how to identify different types of birds by their calls. She taught him a hand-clapping game she'd learned at school. They laughed together. Sometimes, when Mr. Theodore looked extra sad, Lily would just hold his hand, and they would sit in comfortable silence. Lily never asked Mr. Theodore why he was always at the park or where he lived or why he was so hungry. She sensed these were private things, painful things, and she didn't want to hurt him by asking. But she wondered about it, especially when the weather started getting colder and Mr. Theodore began wearing the same thin jacket every day. One chilly October afternoon, Lily brought Mr. Theodore his usual sandwich and found him coughing into his hand. His face looked pale, almost gray. Are you sick, Mr. Theodore? Lily asked, worried. Just a little cold, he said, but his voice was weaker than normal. Nothing to worry about. But Lily did worry. That night, she asked Nana Ruth what you're supposed to do when someone has a cold. Well, baby, they need rest, warm soup, and someone to take care of them, Nana Ruth said, stirring a pot on the stove. Why? Is one of your friends at school sick? Just wondering, Lily said. The next day was Saturday, which meant no school. Lily told Nana Ruth she was going to play at the park for a little while. Before she left, she asked if she could take a thermos of the chicken soup Nana Ruth had made the night before. Her grandmother looked at her with curious eyes but filled the thermos without asking questions. When Lily got to the park, Mr. Theodore was there, coughing even worse than before. She handed him the thermos. "My Nana's chicken soup," she announced proudly. "It fixes everything." Mr. Theodore's eyes filled with tears, and this time they spilled over onto his wrinkled cheeks. "Lily, child, why are you so good to me?" Lily thought about that question. She didn't really know why. She just knew that Mr. Theodore needed help and she could help him. So she did. Wasn't that what people were supposed to do? "Because you're my friend," she said simply. "And friends take care of each other." Mr. Theodore pulled her into a gentle hug, and Lily could feel him shaking. When he let go, he wiped his eyes and smiled at her. "I had a granddaughter once," he said quietly. "She would have been about your age now." Lily's eyes got wide. This was the first time Mr. Theodore had ever talked about his family. "Where is she?" Mr. Theodore looked away, up at the sky through the branches of the oak tree. "She's with the angels now. Her mother too. There was an accident, a long time ago." "I'm sorry," Lily whispered, the way she'd heard grown-ups say when something sad happened. "Me too, child. Me too." They sat quietly after that, with Mr. Theodore sipping the soup and Lily swinging her legs from the bench. She wanted to ask more questions but didn't want to make him sadder. After a while, Mr. Theodore spoke again. "I had a son too. Still do, I suppose, though I haven't seen him in almost a year." "Why not?" Lily asked before she could stop herself. "We had a disagreement," Mr. Theodore said carefully. "A big one. He wanted me to live my life one way, and I wanted to live it another way. We both said things we shouldn't have said. And now," he trailed off, looking sad again. "You could say sorry," Lily suggested. "When me and my friend Jasmine fight at school, we always say sorry and then we're friends again." Mr. Theodore smiled, but it was a sad smile. "It's not always that simple when you're a grown-up, Lily. Sometimes pride gets in the way. Sometimes the hurt goes too deep." Lily didn't fully understand, but she could tell it made Mr. Theodore sad to talk about it. So she changed the subject. "Drink more soup. It'll make you feel better." Over the next few weeks, Mr. Theodore's cough got better, but Lily noticed other things. His jacket was too thin for the cold weather that was coming. He never had a hat or gloves. And one day, she saw him trying to warm his hands by breathing on them. The very next Saturday, Lily asked Nana Ruth if they could go to the thrift store on Maple Street. She'd been saving her allowance money, $5 here and there for helping with chores. She had $23 in her piggy bank, and she knew exactly what she wanted to buy. At the thrift store, Lily found a men's winter jacket for $15 and a pair of gloves for $3. They were used but in good condition, and they would keep someone warm. She used her own money to pay for them, telling Nana Ruth they were for a school project about helping others. The next time Lily went to the park, she brought the jacket and gloves in a big shopping bag. She felt nervous as she approached Mr. Theodore's bench, worried he might be too proud to accept them. "Mr. Theodore," she said, setting the bag down next to him. "Winter's coming and it's getting cold. I got you these." Mr. Theodore opened the bag and stared at the jacket and gloves. He didn't say anything for a long moment, and Lily started to worry she'd made a mistake. Maybe she'd hurt his feelings by suggesting he needed help. But then Mr. Theodore pulled the jacket out of the bag and put it on. It fit him almost perfectly. He pulled on the gloves too, flexing his fingers in them. "Lily Brennan," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You have the biggest heart of anyone I've ever known. How did a little girl get to be so kind?" Lily shrugged. "Nana Ruth says we should always help people when we can. She says that's what makes the world good. Your Nana Ruth is a wise woman." They sat together as the afternoon sun started to set, and Lily felt warm inside despite the cold air. She didn't know that in just a few weeks, everything was about to change. She didn't know that Mr. Theodore's past was about to catch up with him in a way that would turn both their worlds upside down. She didn't know that the man in the expensive suit was already looking for his father. It was the first week of November when Lily started to notice the car. It was a shiny black sedan, the kind that looked expensive and new. It would drive slowly past the park, sometimes circling the block 2 or 3 times. Lily noticed it because cars like that didn't usually come to their neighborhood. Most people drove old cars with dents and rust, cars that had seen better days just like everything else around here. First, she didn't think much of it. But then she noticed the car seemed to appear whenever she and Mr. Theodore were at their bench. It would slow down as it passed, and sometimes Lily could see someone inside looking out at the park, though the windows were too dark to see clearly. Mr. Theodore noticed it too. Lily could tell because he would get quiet and tense whenever the car appeared, his eyes following it until it drove away. "Do you know that car?" Lily asked one day after it had passed for the 3rd time. Mr. Theodore hesitated. "Maybe," he said finally, "maybe it's time for me to tell you some things, Lily, about who I used to be." But before he could say more, the black car pulled up to the curb and stopped. The engine turned off. The driver's door opened, and a tall man in an expensive suit stepped out. His eyes locked on the bench where Mr. Theodore and Lily sat frozen in place. The tall man walked toward them with long, confident steps. His shoes were shiny and clicked against the pavement with each stride. He wore a dark gray suit that looked like it cost more money than Nana Ruth made in a whole month. His face was hard and angry, with a strong jaw clenched tight and eyes that blazed with something Lily couldn't quite name. Fury, maybe, or hurt, or both mixed together. Lily felt Mr. Theodore's hand tighten around hers. His palm was sweaty and cold at the same time. "Dad," the man said, his voice sharp as broken glass. He stopped a few feet away from the bench, his hands balled into fists at his sides. "I've been looking everywhere for you. Do you have any idea how worried I've been?" Mr. Theodore didn't stand up. He didn't let go of Lily's hand either. He just sat there, looking smaller somehow than he had moments before. "Hello, Vincent," Mr. Theodore said quietly. So this was the son. The one Mr. Theodore hadn't seen in almost a year. Lily studied Vincent's face, trying to see any resemblance to the kind old man sitting beside her. Vincent had the same honey-colored eyes, but where Mr. Theodore's were soft and sad, Vincent's were hard and burning. "Hello." Vincent's voice got louder. "That's all you have to say? Hello? I've had private investigators searching for you for 3 months. 3 months, Dad. I thought you were dead in a ditch somewhere." "I'm fine, as you can see," Mr. Theodore said, still in that quiet voice. "Fine." Vincent looked at his father like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. "You're sitting on a park bench in the worst part of town, wearing clothes that look like they came from a dumpster, and you call that fine?" Lily felt anger bubble up in her chest. The worst part of town? This was her neighborhood. This was where she lived. And Mr. Theodore's clothes weren't from a dumpster. They were clean and neat, even if they were old. "This is a nice park," Lily said, surprised by her own bravery. Her voice came out smaller than she wanted, but she said it anyway. Vincent's eyes snapped to her, really looking at her for the first time. His expression changed from anger to confusion. "Who are you?" "This is my friend Lily," Mr. Theodore said before she could answer. "Lily, this is my son Vincent." "Your friend?" Vincent's eyebrows shot up. "Dad, she's a child. What are you doing befriending random children in parks?" The way he said it made it sound dirty, like Mr. Theodore was doing something wrong. Lily felt her face get hot. "She's not random," Mr. Theodore said, and there was steel in his voice now, the first bit of strength Lily had heard since Vincent arrived. "She's been kinder to me than anyone has in a very long time." Vincent ran a hand through his hair, looking frustrated and tired. "We need to talk. Alone." He glanced at Lily. "Go home, kid. This doesn't concern you." "Don't speak to her like that," Mr. Theodore said sharply. Father and son stared at each other, and the air between them felt thick and heavy. Lily didn't know what to do. Part of her wanted to run away like Vincent had told her to, but a bigger part didn't want to leave Mr. Theodore alone with this angry man, even if he was family. "It's okay, Lily," Mr. Theodore said gently, finally letting go of her hand. You should head home. Your Nana will be wondering where you are. But, Lily started. I'll be here tomorrow. Same time, same place. I promise. Lily looked between Mr. Theodore and Vincent, uncertain. You promise? I promise, Mr. Theodore said, and he smiled at her, though it didn't quite reach his eyes. Slowly, Lily stood up from the bench. She picked up her backpack, which had fallen to the ground. She wanted to say something to Vincent, to tell him that he should be nicer to his father, that Mr. Theodore was a good person who didn't deserve to be yelled at. But the words stuck in her throat. As she walked away, she heard Vincent start talking again, his voice lower but still angry. We're going home, Dad. Right now. This has gone on long enough. Lily wanted to turn around to see what Mr. Theodore would say, but she forced herself to keep walking. When she reached the edge of the park, she couldn't help herself. She looked back. Vincent was still standing there, talking and gesturing with his hands. Mr. Theodore was still sitting on the bench, his head bowed, looking at the ground. The paper bag with today's sandwich sat beside him, unopened. Lily's heart felt heavy as she walked the 3 blocks home. She climbed the 4 flights of stairs to her apartment slowly, her mind racing with questions. Would Mr. Theodore really be at the park tomorrow? Would Vincent make him go away? What had Mr. Theodore meant when he said Vincent wanted him to live his life a different way? When she opened the apartment door, Nana Ruth was in the kitchen, humming as she prepared dinner. The familiar smell of fried chicken filled the air. There's my girl, Nana Ruth said with a smile. You're home a little early today. Everything okay at the park? Lily wanted to tell her everything. She wanted to tell Nana Ruth about Mr. Theodore, about the sandwiches, about the jacket and gloves, about Vincent and the black car. But something held her back. If she told, would she get in trouble for talking to strangers? Would Nana Ruth make her stop going to the park? Everything's fine, Lily said. I just got tired of playing. Well, wash up. Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes. Lily went to her room and sat on her bed, staring out the window. From here, she could see the tops of the trees in Riverside Park. Somewhere under those trees, Mr. Theodore and his son were probably still arguing. That night, Lily barely touched her chicken. She pushed her green beans around her plate and only ate half her roll. You feeling sick, baby? Nana Ruth asked, reaching over to feel Lily's forehead. Just not very hungry, Lily said. After dinner, Lily tried to do her homework, but she couldn't concentrate. She read the same page in her reading book 3 times without understanding any of it. When Nana Ruth told her it was time for bed, Lily climbed under her covers, still thinking about Mr. Theodore. She tried to sleep, but every time she closed her eyes, she saw Vincent's angry face and Mr. Theodore's sad, bowed head. What if Vincent took him away? What if she never saw her friend again? What if Mr. Theodore broke his promise? The next day at school felt like it lasted forever. Lily's teacher, Mrs. Kimberly, had to call on her twice during math because Lily wasn't paying attention. At lunch, her friend Jasmine asked her what was wrong, but Lily just said she was tired. When the final bell rang, Lily grabbed her backpack and practically ran out of the building. She speed-walked the whole way home, her heart pounding. She didn't even stop at the apartment. She went straight to the park, her backpack bouncing against her shoulders. Please be there, she thought with every step. Please, please be there. She turned the corner and saw Riverside Park spread out before her. The swings swayed gently in the breeze. A few pigeons pecked at the ground near the broken fountain. And there, on the bench under the oak tree, sat Mr. Theodore. Lily's chest filled with relief so strong it almost hurt. She ran the rest of the way, not caring that running wasn't very ladylike, like Nana Ruth sometimes said. Mr. Theodore looked up as she approached, and he smiled. A real smile this time. You came, Lily said, slightly out of breath. I promised, didn't I? Lily dropped her backpack and sat beside him. That's when she noticed the differences. Mr. Theodore was wearing new clothes, not the faded shirt and patched jacket she was used to seeing. He had on a clean button-up shirt, nice pants, and a warm coat that actually fit him properly. His hair had been trimmed. He looked more rested somehow. You look different, Lily said. Mr. Theodore nodded. Vincent took me to his house last night, made me shower, got me these clothes, fed me a big dinner. He paused. He wants me to stay with him, to move into his house permanently. Lily's stomach dropped. Are you going to? I don't know, Mr. Theodore said honestly. That's what Vincent and I have been arguing about for the past year. He thinks I should live with him, let him take care of me. But He trailed off. But what? Lily asked. But I'm not ready to give up my independence. I'm not ready to admit that I'm too old to take care of myself. He looked at Lily. Does that make sense? Lily thought about it. I think so. Like how I don't want Nana Ruth to help me tie my shoes anymore, because I can do it myself. Mr. Theodore chuckled. Something like that, yes. They sat in silence for a moment. Then Lily asked the question that had been bothering her since yesterday. Why were you living in the park? Why were you so hungry? Mr. Theodore sighed deeply. That's a long story, Lily. But I suppose you deserve to know. Mr. Theodore leaned back on the bench and looked up at the sky through the branches of the oak tree. The November wind rustled the few remaining leaves, making them dance and spin. I used to be a different man, he began slowly. I had a good job, a nice house, a family I loved. My wife's name was Eleanor. She was beautiful and kind, with a laugh that could light up any room. We had Vincent when we were young, and we raised him in a big house with a white fence and a garden full of roses that Eleanor tended every weekend. Lily listened carefully, picturing the life Mr. Theodore was describing. Vincent grew up and became successful. He's a lawyer now, makes more money in a month than I made in a year. He married a wonderful woman named Patricia, and they had a daughter, Emma. Mr. Theodore's voice got softer when he said the name. My granddaughter Emma. She had curly hair and these bright, curious eyes. She loved butterflies and drawing pictures and asking a million questions about everything. The granddaughter you told me about, Lily said quietly. The one with the angels. Mr. Theodore nodded, his eyes getting shiny with tears. 5 years ago, there was an accident. A car crash. Patricia was driving Emma home from dance class when a truck ran a red light. He paused, swallowing hard. They both died instantly. The doctor said they didn't feel any pain. I'm so sorry, Lily whispered, taking his hand. Eleanor couldn't handle it. The grief was too much for her heart. Literally. She had a heart attack 3 months later and passed away in her sleep. Mr. Theodore wiped his eyes with his free hand. So in less than a year, I lost my wife, my daughter-in-law, and my granddaughter. And Vincent lost his wife and his daughter. Lily felt tears running down her own cheeks. She couldn't imagine losing so many people you loved all at once. Vincent and I grieved differently, Mr. Theodore continued. He threw himself into work, staying at the office 12, 14 hours a day. He barely talked, barely ate, barely lived. He was just going through the motions. And I tried to help him, tried to get him to talk about his feelings, but he shut me out. That's sad, Lily said. It is. But I was dealing with my own grief too. I stopped taking care of the house. The roses Eleanor loved so much died because I couldn't bear to look at them. I stopped going to my job. Eventually, I lost it. The bills started piling up. I used up all my savings just trying to keep the house, but it wasn't enough. Mr. Theodore took a deep breath before continuing. About 1.5 years ago, the bank took the house. I had nowhere to go. Vincent wanted me to move in with him right away, but I was too proud. We had a terrible fight. He said I was being stubborn and foolish. I said he was trying to control my life because he couldn't control what happened to his family. We both said cruel things. Things we didn't mean but that hurt anyway. So you left? Lily asked. I left. I thought I could make it on my own. I had a little money left, enough for a cheap room in a boarding house. I got a part-time job washing dishes at a diner. But I wasn't young anymore, Lily. The work was hard. My hands would shake. My back would hurt. Eventually, the diner let me go because I couldn't keep up. Lily squeezed his hand tighter. The money ran out. I couldn't pay for the room anymore. For a while, I stayed at a shelter, but it was crowded and loud and I couldn't sleep. So I started sleeping in the park. In warm weather, it wasn't so bad. I found this bench under this tree. It became my spot. My home, in a way. But what about Vincent? Didn't he look for you? He tried. He called my phone, but I'd sold it to buy food. He went to the boarding house, but I'd already left. I didn't want him to find me like that, homeless and broken. I was ashamed, Lily. Too ashamed to ask for help. But he found you yesterday, Lily said. Mr. Theodore nodded. He hired private investigators a few months ago. They finally tracked me down. And there he was, seeing his father sitting on a park bench, looking like a homeless man. He laughed bitterly. Which is exactly what I am. You're not just a homeless man, Lily said firmly. You're my friend. You're kind and you know about birds and you tell good stories. Mr. Theodore smiled at her, a real warm smile. Thank you, Lily. You have no idea how much your friendship has meant to me these past few months. You gave me something to look forward to every day. You reminded me that there's still goodness in the world. They sat quietly for a moment, both thinking about everything that had been said. So what happens now? Lily finally asked. Are you going to live with Vincent? He wants me to. Last night, after you left, we talked for hours. Really talked, not just yelled. We both apologized for the things we said during our fight. He showed me the house where he lives now. It's smaller than the old family house, but it's nice. He set up a bedroom for me with a comfortable bed and everything. He wants to take care of me. That sounds good, Lily said, though her heart felt heavy. If Mr. Theodore moved in with Vincent, would she ever see him again? It does sound good, Mr. Theodore agreed. But there's a problem. Vincent lives on the other side of the city, almost an hour away from here. If I move in with him, I won't be able to come to this park anymore. I won't be able to see you. There it was. The thing Lily had been afraid of. I told Vincent about you, Mr. Theodore continued. About how you've been bringing me sandwiches every day. About the jacket and gloves you bought me. About how a 7-year-old girl showed me more kindness than I deserved. What did he say? Lily asked. At first, he was angry. He said you shouldn't have had to take care of me, that it was wrong for me to accept food from a child. But then I explained that you wanted to help, that I tried to say no but you insisted. I told him you have the biggest heart I've ever seen. Is he still angry? No. Actually, he said he wants to meet you properly. To thank you for taking care of me when he couldn't find me. Mr. Theodore looked at Lily seriously. He's coming back to the park in a little while. He wants to talk to you and your Nana Ruth together. Is that okay? Lily's eyes went wide. My Nana Ruth? But she doesn't know about you. She doesn't know about the sandwiches or anything. I know. And I'm sorry for putting you in this position. But Vincent thinks your grandmother deserves to know the truth. He wants to thank her too. And he wants to make sure she's okay with everything that's happened. Lily felt panic rising in her chest. Would Nana Ruth be mad? Would she think Lily had been bad for talking to strangers and keeping secrets? Hey, Mr. Theodore said gently, seeing the fear on her face. You didn't do anything wrong, Lily. You helped someone who needed help. That's never wrong. Your Nana Ruth might be surprised, but she won't be angry. Not when she hears the whole story. Are you sure? Lily's voice was small. I'm sure. Just then, Lily heard footsteps behind them. She turned to see the black car parked at the curb again, and Vincent walking toward them. But this time he wasn't alone. Walking beside him, looking confused and worried, was Nana Ruth. Lily's heart started pounding. This was it. The moment of truth. She stood up from the bench, her legs feeling wobbly. Lily! Nana Ruth called out, walking faster now. What's going on? This man came to our apartment saying you've been helping someone? Baby, what have you been doing? Lily looked at Mr. Theodore, then at Vincent, then back at her grandmother. She took a deep breath. Nana, she said, her voice shaking just a little. I need to tell you about my friend. Nana Ruth reached the bench and immediately pulled Lily into a tight hug. She held her granddaughter close for a long moment before stepping back and looking her over carefully, as if checking to make sure she was okay. Baby, you're not in trouble, Nana Ruth said, though her voice was tense. But I need to understand what's been happening. This man, Mr. Ashford here, came knocking on our door saying his father has been meeting with you every day after school. Is that true? Lily nodded slowly. She looked at Mr. Theodore, who gave her an encouraging smile. It's true, Nana. This is Mr. Theodore. He's my friend. Nana Ruth looked at the old man on the bench, really looked at him. Her expression was hard to read, somewhere between concern and curiosity. She turned to Vincent. You said your father was homeless? That my granddaughter has been bringing him food. Yes, ma'am, Vincent said respectfully. His voice was much softer than it had been yesterday, more gentle. For the past 3 months, apparently. I only just found my father yesterday, and when he told me what Lily had been doing, I knew I had to speak with you. Nana Ruth sat down heavily on the bench, right next to Mr. Theodore. She looked tired suddenly, older than her years. She gestured for Lily to come sit on her other side. Start from the beginning, baby, Nana Ruth said quietly. Tell me everything. So Lily did. She told Nana Ruth about the first day she noticed Mr. Theodore, about the doll that blew away in the wind, about how they became friends. She explained about the cookies and the crackers, and how she noticed Mr. Theodore getting thinner and hungrier. She told about making the sandwiches every morning, about the chicken soup, about the jacket and gloves from the thrift store. As Lily talked, she watched Nana Ruth's face carefully. Her grandmother didn't look angry. She looked sad and surprised and maybe a little bit proud, though Lily couldn't be sure about that last part. When Lily finished, there was silence. A pigeon landed near their feet, looking for crumbs, then flew away when it found none. I'm sorry I kept it a secret, Lily said in a small voice. I was afraid you'd make me stop coming to the park. Nana Ruth pulled Lily close again, kissing the top of her head. Oh, baby, you have such a good heart. Just like your mama had before she lost her way. She looked at Mr. Theodore. Mr. Ashford, I appreciate you being honest with me now, but I need to ask you something, and I need you to answer me truthfully. Of course, Mr. Theodore said. Did you ever ask my granddaughter for help? Did you ever pressure her or make her feel like she had to take care of you? No, ma'am, never. The first time she offered me food, I tried to refuse. But Lily is very determined when she wants to help someone. Mr. Theodore's eyes were wet again. I'm ashamed that I accepted help from a child. I should have been stronger, should have found another way. But I was hungry and alone, and your granddaughter's kindness was like a light in the darkness. I'm sorrier than I can say for putting her in that position. Nana Ruth studied his face for a long moment. Then she did something that surprised everyone. She reached over and patted his hand. You don't need to apologize for being human, Mr. Ashford. We all struggle sometimes. We all need help. There's no shame in that. She paused. But there is shame in letting pride keep us from the people who love us and want to help us. She looked pointedly at Vincent when she said that last part. Vincent had the decency to look uncomfortable. I've been trying to get him to come home for a year, Vincent said defensively. And he's been trying to hold on to his dignity and independence, Nana Ruth replied. You're both stubborn men, seems to me. Too much alike to see it. Mr. Theodore and Vincent looked at each other, both seeming surprised by Nana Ruth's observation. My Lily, Nana Ruth continued. She's not stubborn. She's just got a heart too big for her little body. She sees someone hurting. She wants to fix it. That's both a blessing and something I worry about. She turned to Lily. Baby, I'm proud of you for being kind. I'm proud that you wanted to help Mr. Theodore. But next time someone needs help like that, you come tell me, you understand? We'll figure it out together. Yes, Nana, Lily said, relief flooding through her. Nana Ruth wasn't mad. Everything was going to be okay. Now, Nana Ruth said, standing up and brushing off her pants. Mr. Ashford, Vincent here tells me you're moving in with him. Is that right? Mr. Theodore glanced at his son, then nodded slowly. Yes, I think it's time. Past time, maybe. Good. Family should stick together, especially after tragedy. Nana Ruth's voice was firm but kind. And Vincent, you make sure your father feels welcome in your home. Not like a burden, not like a child who needs watching, but like the grown man who raised you. You respect his independence even while you're helping him. You hear me?" Vincent blinked, clearly not used to being told what to do. But he nodded. "Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Theodore, you let your son help you. You accept that sometimes we need family, and that's not weakness. That's just being human." "Yes, ma'am," Mr. Theodore echoed. Lily almost smiled. Nana Ruth had that effect on people. When she used that tone of voice, everyone listened. "Now, there's one more thing," Nana Ruth said, looking between Mr. Theodore and Lily. "I know you two have become friends, and I know if Mr. Theodore moves across the city, Lily's going to miss him terribly." Lily felt her throat get tight. She hadn't let herself think too much about that part yet. Vincent stepped forward. "Actually, Mrs. Brennan, that's something I wanted to discuss with you. I know this is unusual, but I was thinking maybe Lily could visit sometimes. I could pick her up on Saturday mornings, bring her to my house so she and my father could spend time together. Then I'd bring her back in the afternoon. If that's acceptable to you, of course." Lily's eyes went wide. She looked at Nana Ruth hopefully. Nana Ruth crossed her arms, thinking, "I don't know you, Mr. Ashford. No offense, but I don't let my grandbaby go off with strangers." "I understand completely," Vincent said quickly. "Maybe you could come too the first few times? See where I live, meet me properly? And if you're comfortable after that, then maybe Lily could visit on her own." "Please, Nana?" Lily asked. "Mr. Theodore is my best friend." Nana Ruth looked at her granddaughter's pleading face, then at Mr. Theodore's hopeful expression, then at Vincent's earnest eyes. "We'll try it," she said finally. "This Saturday, Lily and I will visit your home. We'll see how it goes. But I'm warning you, Mr. Ashford, if anything seems off, if I get any bad feelings at all, that'll be the end of it." "Fair enough," Vincent said, looking relieved. "Thank you, Mrs. Brennan. You won't regret it." "I better not." Mr. Theodore stood up from the bench and faced Nana Ruth. "Thank you for raising such a wonderful child, and thank you for understanding. You didn't have to be this kind." "Yes, I did," Nana Ruth said simply. "Kindness is always a choice we have to make." Lily reminded me of that just now. As the sun started to set, casting long shadows across the park, the four of them stood together. Lily felt happy but also sad. Things were changing. Mr. Theodore wouldn't be at the park every day anymore. Their routine was ending. But maybe, she thought, maybe this was the start of something new. Something even better. "Can I still bring you sandwiches when I visit?" Lily asked Mr. Theodore. Everyone laughed, even Vincent. "I think Vincent will make sure I have plenty to eat from now on," Mr. Theodore said, ruffling Lily's hair. "But I would never say no to one of your sandwiches. They're made with something special." "What?" Lily asked. "Love," Mr. Theodore said simply. Nana Ruth nodded approvingly. "That's the best ingredient there is." As they prepared to leave the park, Lily noticed something. A group of teenagers had gathered near the basketball court, their voices getting louder. One of them was pointing at Vincent's expensive car parked at the curb. "Hey, mister!" one of the teens called out. "That's a nice car you got there." Vincent tensed. The tone wasn't friendly, and that's when everything went wrong. The teenagers moved closer to the car, 5 of them in total, all wearing hoodies and baggy jeans. The one in front, a tall boy with a red cap turned backwards, ran his hand along the car's shiny black hood. "Real nice car," he said again, louder this time. "Bet it cost more than my mama makes in a whole year." Vincent straightened up, his jaw tightening. "Please don't touch the car. Please don't touch the car," the boy mimicked in a high-pitched voice. His friends laughed. "You hear that? Man comes to our neighborhood in his fancy car and tells us what to do." Lily felt Nana Ruth's hand tighten on her shoulder. "We should go," her grandmother said quietly to Vincent. "Now." But the teenagers had spread out, blocking the path to the car. They weren't being violent, not yet, but there was something threatening in the way they stood, in the way they looked at Vincent with resentment burning in their eyes. What's a rich man like you doing in this park anyway? Another boy asked. You lost or something? I'm visiting my father, Vincent said, trying to keep his voice calm. He gestured to Mr. Theodore. We're just leaving. Your father. The boy in the red cap looked at Mr. Theodore, recognition dawning on his face. Oh yeah, the old homeless dude. I've seen him sleeping on that bench. Didn't know he had a rich son who left him here to starve. It's not like that, Vincent started to say, but the boy talked over him. Nah, it's exactly like that. Rich people don't care about nobody but themselves. They drive through our neighborhood in their expensive cars, looking down on us, and they don't even take care of their own family. That's enough, Mr. Theodore said. His voice stronger than Lily had ever heard it. He stepped forward, placing himself between the teenagers and his son. These young men don't know our story, Vincent, and we don't owe them an explanation. Yo, old man, I ain't trying to disrespect you, the boy in the red cap said, his tone softening slightly. I'm just saying it ain't right. You've been out here struggling while he's driving around in cars that cost more than this whole block. My son and I had our differences, Mr. Theodore said calmly, but we're working them out. That's all you need to know. A small crowd was gathering now. Other people from the neighborhood drawn by the commotion. Lily recognized Mrs. Chun from the corner store and Mr. Raymond who lived on the second floor of her building. Everything okay here? Mr. Raymond called out. Just fine, Nana Ruth called back, though her voice was tight with tension. The boy in the red cap still hadn't moved away from the car. He was watching Vincent with hard eyes, like he was trying to decide something. Then a woman's voice cut through the tension. Marcus, get away from that car right now. Everyone turned to see a woman hurrying across the park. She was young, maybe in her 30s, wearing scrubs like she'd just come from the hospital. Her face was angry and tired at the same time. Mom, the boy in the red cap started. Don't mom me. I can see what you're doing from across the street. She reached the group and grabbed her son's arm. I raised you better than this. These people aren't bothering you. You leave them alone. But, no buts. Apologize. Now. The boy looked embarrassed in front of his friends, but he mumbled, Sorry for touching your car. Vincent nodded stiffly. It's fine. No harm done. The woman, Marcus's mother, looked at the rest of the teenagers. The rest of you go on home. Show's over. Grumbling, the other boys drifted away, though Marcus stayed with his mother. I'm sorry about that, she said to Vincent and the others. These boys got too much anger and not enough sense sometimes. It's understandable, Mr. Theodore said gently. We do look out of place here. Marcus's mother studied Mr. Theodore's face, and something in her expression shifted. Wait, I know you. You're the man who sits on that bench every day. My daughter Keisha talks about you. She's 6. She says you feed the pigeons and you know all their names. Mr. Theodore smiled. Keisha with the pink backpack? Sweet little girl. Always waves at me when she walks by. That's her. The woman's face softened. She's been asking me why you always sit alone. I told her some people just like quiet time to think. Your daughter is very observant, Mr. Theodore said. She is. Marcus's mother looked at Vincent. Is this your son? Yes. He's come to take me home. Understanding crossed the woman's face. Well, that's good. That's real good. You take care of yourself. Okay? Keisha's gonna miss seeing you at the park. Tell her I'll miss her too. As Marcus and his mother walked away, the tension finally started to drain from the air. The small crowd that had gathered began to disperse, people heading back to their own business. Let's get you all out of here, Nana Ruth said, before something else happens. They hurried to the car. Vincent unlocked it quickly, and everyone climbed in. Lily had never been in such a fancy car before. The seats were soft leather, and everything smelled new and clean. As Vincent started the engine, Lily looked out the window at Riverside Park. The bench under the oak tree sat empty now. The place where she'd spent so many afternoons with Mr. Theodore looked lonely without him there. You okay, baby? Nana Ruth asked, noticing Lily's sad expression. Lily nodded, but she felt like crying. Everything was changing so fast. Just yesterday, her biggest worry was whether she had enough peanut butter to make Mr. Theodore's sandwich. Now there were angry teenagers and fancy cars and visits to houses on the other side of the city. Those boys were just scared, Mr. Theodore said from the front seat, as if reading Lily's thoughts. They see someone who looks different, who has more money, and they get defensive. It's not really about us. It's about all the times people with money have looked down on them or treated them badly. I wasn't looking down on anyone, Vincent said, his hands tight on the steering wheel. I know that. You know that. But they don't know that. All they see is an expensive car in a poor neighborhood. Vincent was quiet for a moment. I didn't think about it that way. Maybe you should start thinking about it, Mr. Theodore said gently. The world looks different depending on where you're standing. They drove through the city as the sun set, painting the sky orange and pink. Lily watched her neighborhood slip away through the window. The corner store where she bought candy with her allowance money. The laundromat where Nana Ruth washed their clothes every Sunday. The playground where she'd learned to ride a bike. Soon they were in a different part of the city. The streets here were cleaner. The houses were bigger. Trees lined the sidewalks, and there were flower boxes in the windows. Vincent pulled into the driveway of a two-story house with pale blue siding and white shutters. The lawn was neat and green, and there were mums planted in the flower beds, bright yellow and orange. This is it, Vincent said, turning off the engine. This is home. They all got out of the car and stood looking at the house. It was pretty, Lily thought, but it didn't feel like home. Not her home, anyway. She wondered if it felt like home to Mr. Theodore. Would you like to come in? Vincent asked Nana Ruth. See where Dad will be staying? Maybe have some coffee? Nana Ruth checked her watch. I suppose we could come in for a few minutes. But we can't stay long. Lily's got school tomorrow, and it's getting late. Vincent led them up the front walkway to the door. As he unlocked it, Lily heard something inside. A sound she couldn't quite identify. The door swung open, and a small white dog came rushing out, barking excitedly. And right behind the dog came a woman Lily had never seen before, her face pale and shocked. Vincent, the woman said, her voice shaking. What's going on? Who are all these people? Vincent froze, his face going white. Patricia, Mr. Theodore whispered, staring at the woman like he'd seen a ghost. But that was impossible, Lily thought. Patricia was dead. Vincent's wife had died in the car crash 5 years ago. Hadn't she? The woman stared back at Mr. Theodore, confusion written all over her face. She was younger than Nana Ruth but older than Vincent, with light brown hair pulled back in a ponytail and kind eyes that right now looked very worried. I'm sorry, the woman said, glancing nervously at Vincent. I think there's been some confusion. I'm not Patricia. My name is Rebecca. Mr. Theodore swayed on his feet, and Vincent rushed to steady him. Dad, are you okay? I'm sorry. I should have told you. I should have prepared you. Told me what? Mr. Theodore's voice was barely a whisper. Vincent helped his father to a chair just inside the doorway. The little white dog had stopped barking and was now sniffing at Lily's shoes curiously. Lily bent down and petted it, glad to have something to do while the adults sorted out whatever was happening. Everyone, please come in, Vincent said, though he looked uncomfortable. Rebecca, this is my father, Theodore. And this is Mrs. Brennan and her granddaughter Lily. They're the ones I told you about. Rebecca's face softened with understanding. Oh, the little girl who helped your father. Please come in, all of you. I'm so glad to finally meet you. They moved into the living room, which was warm and cozy with soft couches and family photos on the walls. Lily noticed that none of the photos showed the wife and daughter who had died. These were different pictures, more recent. Dad, Vincent began, sitting down next to his father. I need to explain something. About a year ago, I met Rebecca. She's a grief counselor. I started seeing her professionally after I finally admitted I needed help dealing with everything that happened with Patricia and Emma. Mr. Theodore listened, his hands trembling slightly. Over time, we became friends, Vincent continued. And then, about 6 months ago, we became more than friends. Dad, Rebecca and I got married 2 months ago. The room went silent. Even the little dog seemed to sense the tension and sat quietly at Rebecca's feet. You got married? Mr. Theodore finally said. And you didn't tell me? I tried to find you. Vincent's voice rose with emotion. I looked everywhere. I hired investigators. I wanted you there, Dad. I wanted you to walk Rebecca down the aisle since her father passed away. I wanted you to be part of it. But I couldn't find you, and I couldn't put my life on hold forever. I didn't know, Mr. Theodore said quietly. All this time, I thought you were still drowning in grief. I thought you were alone. I was alone. For years, I was so alone I could barely breathe. But Rebecca helped me see that Patricia and Emma wouldn't want me to stop living. They'd want me to find happiness again. Vincent's eyes were wet with tears. And I did find it. But it's been incomplete because you weren't there. Because we were both too stubborn and proud to fix what was broken between us. Rebecca knelt down in front of Mr. Theodore and took his hands in hers. Mr. Ashford, I've heard so much about you. Vincent talks about you all the time. He's been heartbroken not knowing where you were or if you were okay. When he found you yesterday, he came home crying. Actually crying. I've never seen him like that. Mr. Theodore looked at his son with new eyes. You cried. Vincent wiped his face roughly. Of course I cried. You're my father. When I saw you on that park bench, looking so thin and tired, wearing clothes that had seen better days, I felt like my heart was breaking all over again. I'd lost so much already. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd lost you too because of pride and stubbornness. I'm sorry, Mr. Theodore said, his voice cracking. I'm so sorry, son. I should have come to you. I should have swallowed my pride and asked for help. Instead, I put you through a year of worry and pain. I'm sorry too, Vincent said. I should have respected your independence more. I should have listened instead of trying to control everything. I was so scared of losing you that I pushed you away. Father and son embraced, both of them crying now. Lily felt her own tears spilling over. Nana Ruth pulled her close, and Lily could see that her grandmother's eyes were wet too. Rebecca stepped back, giving them space, and came to stand near Nana Ruth and Lily. This must all seem very dramatic to you, she said with a gentle smile. It's okay, Nana Ruth said. Sometimes families need drama to get to the healing. After a few minutes, Mr. Theodore and Vincent pulled apart. They were both smiling through their tears. So, Mr. Theodore said, looking at Rebecca, I have a daughter-in-law. You do, Rebecca confirmed. And I hope we can be friends. Vincent's told me you're a wonderful man, and now I've heard what you've been through. I think you're incredibly strong. I don't feel strong. I feel like a foolish old man who made things harder than they needed to be. You're human, Rebecca said simply. We all make mistakes. What matters is that you're here now. The little white dog had made its way to Mr. Theodore and was pawing at his leg. He reached down and picked it up, and the dog immediately started licking his face. This is Marshmallow, Rebecca said with a laugh. She's very friendly. Hello, Marshmallow, Mr. Theodore said, and for the first time since they'd arrived, he looked truly happy. They spent the next hour talking. Rebecca made coffee and brought out cookies. Vincent showed them around the house, including the bedroom he'd prepared for his father. It had a comfortable bed, a big window with a view of the backyard, and bookshelves waiting to be filled. I thought you might want to start reading again, Vincent said. You always loved books. I did, Mr. Theodore said softly, running his hand along the empty shelves. I do. Lily explored the house with Marshmallow at her heels. There was a kitchen with granite countertops, a dining room with a big table, and a den with a television and more books. It was nothing like her small apartment, but it felt warm and welcoming. When it was time to leave, everyone gathered at the front door. So we'll see you Saturday? Vincent asked Nana Ruth. Around 10 in the morning? I can come pick you both up. We'll be ready, Nana Ruth confirmed. And Mr. Ashford, you take care of yourself. Let your family love you. I will, Mr. Theodore promised. He bent down to Lily's level. Thank you, Lily Brennan. You saved my life, you know. Not just by feeding me, but by reminding me that there's kindness in the world, that people still care about each other. Lily hugged him tight. I'll miss seeing you every day. I'll miss you too, but Saturday's not so far away. And I'll be here, in a warm house with a full stomach and a family that loves me. Thanks to you. And thanks to Vincent for not giving up on you, Lily said. Mr. Theodore smiled and looked at his son. Yes, thanks to Vincent for being more stubborn than his old man. Vincent drove them home, and the ride was quieter than before, but in a good way. Peaceful way. When they pulled up to Lily's building, the streetlights were just coming on. Thank you for everything, Vincent said to Nana Ruth. For understanding, for raising such an amazing granddaughter, for agreeing to visit. It means more than you know. Family is important, Nana Ruth said. Even when it's complicated. You remember that. I will. Lily and Nana Ruth climbed the 4 flights of stairs to their apartment. Once inside, Nana Ruth made hot chocolate, and they sat together on the couch. That was quite an adventure, Nana Ruth said. Yeah, Lily agreed. Nana, do you think Mr. Theodore will be happy living with Vincent and Rebecca? I think he will. It might take some time for everyone to adjust, but they love each other. That's what matters. I'm going to miss him being at the park. I know, baby, but sometimes things have to change. Sometimes change is good, even when it's hard. Lily thought about that. She thought about Mr. Theodore on his bench, alone and hungry. And then she thought about him in that warm house with Vincent and Rebecca and Marshmallow. It was definitely better, even if she missed him. Nana, Lily said quietly. Yes, baby? I'm glad I helped him, even if it was hard keeping the secret. I'm glad I made those sandwiches. Nana Ruth pulled her close. Me too, baby. Me too. You did a beautiful thing. You saw someone who needed help, and you helped them. That's what kindness looks like. That's what love looks like. They finished their hot chocolate and Lily got ready for bed. As she lay in the darkness, she thought about everything that had happened. About Mr. Theodore and Vincent and their year of pain and pride. About how a little girl's sandwiches had brought them back together, even if that wasn't what she'd meant to do. She thought about Saturday, when she'd visit the big house with the blue siding and see Mr. Theodore again. Maybe they'd read books together. Maybe they'd play with Marshmallow. Maybe Mr. Theodore would teach her more about birds. The story could have ended sadly. Mr. Theodore could have stayed alone on that bench forever. He and Vincent could have stayed apart, both hurting, both too proud to reach out. But it didn't end that way. It ended with family coming back together. With wounds beginning to heal. With an old man getting a second chance at happiness and a young boy learning to open his heart again after terrible loss. And it all started with a 7-year-old girl who had a big heart and some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. As Lily drifted off to sleep, she smiled. Tomorrow she'd go back to school. Tomorrow she'd play at the park, though the bench under the oak tree would be empty. Tomorrow would be normal. But Saturday she'd see her friend again. And that made everything okay. The end. Thank you for watching. If you found this story engaging, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective adds value to the conversation. To stay updated with future stories exploring themes of race, inequality, and the unexpected choices that shape lives, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful and thought-provoking content.